Mike Johnson's speakership is over. He needs to do the right thing to resign and allow us to move forward in a controlled process.
Marge has been saying a lot about Republican Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Let's see what he has to say.
Republicans don't want to move together as a bloc. So
we're moving. Marjorie Taylor Greene?
I'm not going to name any names, Jesse. You know who they are.
You have nightmares about her?
No, I don't. I don't think about her at all.
Oof, that's got a sting for Marge, who's been bad-mouthing Mike Johnson for the past few weeks.
He delivered a two-part omnibus, funded the Department of Justice, 91 federal indictments against President Trump, funded the FBI that raided Mar-a-Lago, gave him a brand new FBI building, funded Joe Biden's open border policies that are killing Americans every single day. Then he reauthorized FISA that spied on American citizens, spied on President Trump's campaign, and he voted against the warrant requirement, the same warrant requirement that he was for 6 months ago. And then he did this bull here on the House floor, foreign war package.
In fact, it's gotten so bad where Marge has thrown her entire party under the bus.
Because people have completely lost hope in the Republican Party, especially the Republican-controlled House.
So just a short recap of what's going on between Mike Johnson and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Interestingly enough, they're both pretty far-right nut jobs. But Marge is upset because Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, has gotten together with the Democrats to pass a few things she didn't like. You saw her list a few of those. One of them was funding the government, which is what the Congress does in general, whether it's a Republican Congress or a Democratic Congress. They usually get together and they keep the government funded so that we don't have to shut down. That's always a good thing. The government keeps going and people don't have to not go to work, people that work for the federal government. We've had shutdowns before, but we're trying to avoid shutdowns. They keep punting it down the line. But regardless, that bothered Marge because by funding the government, Mike Johnson agreed to also fund some of the DOJ. And the DOJ, as we all know, is now going after Donald Trump on a few different charges. Once again, Marge always complains about the DOJ going after Donald Trump for the January 6th crimes that he committed, for the classified documents crimes that he committed. And the answer to that is, Marge, if he didn't commit the crimes, the DOJ wouldn't have gone after him. No other president did the DOJ go after until Donald Trump. And then, of course, when he commits those crimes, what do you want them to do? Just look the other way? That's what Marge wants. Marge wants the DOJ to not even go after the people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th, which to me is the craziest thing in the world. Let's not forget they're trying to whitewash the storming of the Capitol, which was trying to overthrow a democratically elected president. Let's not forget when the storming of the Capitol happened, first they said it was Antifa. Then they called those people who stormed the Capitol patriots. Then they said they were tourists. Now they're saying they're hostages. That's what Marge wants you to believe. So Marge is a cuckoo goofball who has gone so far right where she doesn't even want Mike Johnson to be the Speaker of the House. And the reason we're even here is because this Republican Congress, once again, they agreed to let these Speaker of the Houses come about, their leaders come about, with the contingency that if one member of their caucus doesn't like something that the Speaker does, they can do this motion to vacate and they can oust them, which is what they did to Kevin McCarthy, who, by the way, was also not a good person, but they didn't like what he did. They ousted him. Matt Gaetz didn't like what he did. They ousted him. Kevin McCarthy recently said that the reason that Matt Gaetz didn't like Kevin McCarthy was because Kevin McCarthy was not stopping the investigation that was going on Matt Gaetz getting together with an underage sex worker. So it's all a bunch of hypocritical, dirty games. But the problem is Marge and her ilk don't want anything done. They just throw bombs and they blow up the whole idea of government. So Marge is upset about Mike Johnson working to get the funding of the government done. Marge is upset about Mike Johnson recently helping get this aid package. We sent aid, I guess, to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. No matter where you stand on that, once again, this is something that it was a bipartisan thing. Mike Johnson had to get votes from the Democrats to get it done. Because originally, the Republicans, once again, this is a do-nothing Congress by the Republicans, they said, we don't want to give aid to Ukraine unless if you tie an immigration bill. And you saw earlier in that clip, Marge was talking about Biden's failed policies at the border. Well, the Democrats, negotiated with the Republicans, and they came up with a bipartisan bill to help at the border. And Leader Trump said, don't pass that bill, because if Biden gets a bill passed under his presidency on the border, it will hurt me, Trump, in my run. So he politicized it and said, don't fix the border. I don't want the border fixed, because it's going to help me run by telling my MAGA loyalists that the immigrants are coming for them. So if you guys pass a bill, then it means immigrants aren't coming for them. So all of this to say, it's all politics, it's all crazy, and Marjorie Taylor Greene should be a fitness instructor, maybe on Instagram, definitely on Truth Social. That should be the level of her authority. However, some people in Georgia voted her in. Out of 330 million people in this country, she's one of 435 members of Congress. And now she is butting heads with Mike Johnson, who is a crazy far-right religious dude who realized if he wants to get anything done, he's got to compromise with the Democrats. And of course, now this Republican Congress is all about not compromising with the Democrats, because God forbid they get something passed. God forbid. And when they get something passed, then members on the far right, Marge and her MAGA loyalists, want you out. They don't want it. They don't want nothing done. You see, that's the whole trick, is they don't want nothing done. So if you're in Marge's district, I want you to ask yourself, what has she done for you lately? Anything except culture wars? Anything at all? Nah, nothing. She's got no ideas. She thinks that there's some space lasers that are being controlled by the Jews to, I don't know, do what? She's nuts. And yet, she's a congresswoman. What a crazy world we're living in. People, please vote. People in Georgia and her district, please don't vote for her. Listen, guys, I'm comedian Maz Jobrani. I've got a special on YouTube. It's called The Birds and the Bees. Watch it. If you enjoy it, tell your friends. If you don't, keep it to yourselves.